You have failed this city. Oh, let's fix this. Okay, calm down, Black Arrow. It's just a recap. And get a better costume, bro. That ain't nothing but a black hoodie and a Leonardo mask, son. It's more like Discount Arrow instead of Black Arrow. Anyway, people, this is the Arrow Recap, episode 4. Let's talk. Hey, what's good, comic fans? This is Comfire Comics, and we're here to talk about the Arrow Season 4, Episode 4. We are on Episode 4, right?
Yeah.
All right, I've been gone, people, but guess what? I'm back. I get to talk about the Arrow. This is the first video I've done about the Arrow, so let's get into it. I'm Comfire Rich.
And I'm Comfire Nate, and for the most part, this episode was drama-free, really, compared. It was pretty good. They did a good job. Not too much drama. What'd you think, Rich?
Man, it was a nice episode, man. I feel like we're finally getting back on track. Diggle's back to normal. We ain't got to deal with him whining about his wife getting jacked up. They get a nice, super secret hideout now that it was pretty awesome. I mean,
I like that hideout. That hideout was cool.
This group, when it comes to secret layers or whatever, for what's going on TV, they get it down. They laying it down. I went down there. I was like, yo, man, I felt like a little kid when they walked into that elevator and Thea gets all excited. She's like, really? I felt like a kid who found a new clubhouse out in the woods. And I was like, oh, goody, we get to go down into this new layer. And I was like, yeah, that was cool. So we're getting everybody back on the same page for the most part, where there's not this internal struggle and fight in between the team. They can just actually go out and handle business. So, yeah, I'm liking where this episode started out with and how it was going.
Yeah, it was a lot better. I mean, like you said, their internal issues are behind them. The only real issue that was kind of outstanding was between Captain Lance and Oliver, and man, they squashed that in this episode. They just got rid of these little, I'm mad at you and you're mad at me crap. I mean, this episode got rid of that, and I was glad for that too, because it just gets old, man. I'm just tired of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did a good job starting to wrap stuff up. Now we still have that one lingering thing where you got, Pet Cemetery Sara chained up down in the basement, just going all animal-like, which that's weird to me, like as a sibling or something like that. That she brought her sister back and she's tied up down there. She's freaked out. Lance, he's jacked up over it, and I can see why, because you don't want to see your kids in like that type of pain. But yeah, they got her chained up, but they working that out.
Well, there's no sign that it's her. It looks
right.
like her, but it's like a shell. They said, like her soul's gone. She's not there. So, it's creepy. I mean, it's definitely creepy. I can see why. He was ready to just put her down. And the fact that he turned to Damien Dark, and Damien Dark said, "Hey, I'm a father too. If it was me, I'd kill her."
Oh yeah, he's I'd put her down. Yeah.
Not that that's saying a lot from that guy, because that dude's straight up cold. But he basically said there's nothing you can do. So,
yeah. And he would know. He would know because he's been part of that world. I really liked the bad guy, right? Like, I like their foe in this episode. They were just bad cops. It wasn't a supervillain. We've had a supervillain for so long, whether it be Merlin or Ra's al Ghul or whoever, somebody that's really big that they deal with all the time. And it wasn't a street punk either. It wasn't like one street gang. Like, these people could hold their own against the Arrow in this crew, because they are a vigilante or anti-vigilante task force who had been trained, who had special weapons to handle them. And I thought it was neat. It was like the cop team versus the vigilante team. And it was cool, man. You got to see some cool fights, and it was more believable, how they could go back and forth.
Because they had like extra equipment to kind of like to take the edge away from the you know, like they took out Canary's cry, like it knocked it out. You know, they had ways to stop them. But when they, you know, got in a fight, they knew how to handle themselves because they were cops, they were trained. So it was, like you said, it was a nice, refreshing, let's get away from that, you know, freak of the week character that you're going to be fighting, whoever the person is, and just go to just plain old, you know, cops who basically saw the city was going to crap and trying to make a buck before they bail out, basically. I mean, because and the city's going down the toilet. I mean, that they've made a point of pointing that out continuously.
Yes.
Which builds up to the fact, which at the end, that Oliver's going to run for mayor. I mean, he mentioned it last week, and I almost kind of thought that between now and that maybe he would change his mind, but he didn't. And, I mean, he did a pretty good speech, and that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm excited about Mayor Ollie. I was, before he announced it, when they even started hinting at it, when Lance in the other episode even mentioned the city needs somebody to stand up for it, they can't have behind a mask, I was like, yo, Ollie's going to run for mayor. And when he announced it, I got excited. I want to see that, and I'm not really sure why. I guess because you want him to return to the you know, staple that he can be for the city. You know, he did have his company, he lost his company, and now he can have that political influence again, you know, in the public eye. And I want to see that to make the connections. And then still it's like, hey, not only am I mayor, I got a secret lair underneath my little building here, and I fight crime at night. I'm excited to see how that all takes place. I think it'd be cool. I do want to talk about Laurel because I haven't got to talk about any of the other episodes, and it happened again in this one. Man, I cannot take that girl serious. I can get by Thea. I actually like seeing Thea, right? Like when she fights, it's for whatever reason, it's a little bit more believable for me when she's kicking people's butts and stuff. I don't know why, but for some reason, Laurel, dude, I can't. She got trained by a boxer for a few weeks, and then Nessa or whatever, she comes in and trained her for a little bit, but I can't. She looks like olive oil, for crying out loud, off Popeye. I mean, the girl is like this, and she gets beat up all the time. Every time she's fighting, she's getting like slapped around, and then she makes an entrance, and like I crack up every time. She got that choke collar on her neck, and she's always like, you know, screaming at everybody, and I laugh every time. You know, whatever. Maybe she's great in the comic books, and it does good on paper, and it might just be this actress that they got trying to play somebody that's beating people up. But every time I was like, man, just punch her real quick, put her in the dumpster, and let her repair, and get back to some other people who can fight. I don't know why. I can't take Laurel serious. Have you not had a problem with her?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I haven't noticed it. I mean, there's been so many things in this show that like gets under my skin that I just kind of overlook, because, you know, I want to like it more than I mean, like just the constant kind of back and forth between people. Sometimes it sounds fake, and even some of the fighting sometimes seems silly. So yeah, I probably have just overlooked it.
You just got used to it. I don't know. I can believe it.
Used to it.
I see Nessa. I see your sister Sara, and Thea, and for whatever reason they don't bother me. Laurel, and I don't know why, she just bothers me. It's like, man, you ain't whooping nobody. You ain't been trained enough. I don't know. Go back to the island and train or something. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, you mentioned Lance and Ollie. Ollie put the smackdown on Lance in this one. And this was the first time I feel like Ollie really got that passionate behind, you know, a speech. You know, he's always giving his speeches, and he's always getting into these, you know, drama-filled arguments with people. But this was the first one that was actually believable, right? You felt it, that he had actually kind of looked up to Lance.
It was the fact that Lance has been riding him for halfway through last season, this season, you know, just giving him grief, you know. And then all of a sudden it's like you find out that the guy's been giving you grief about stuff has been, I mean, basically, you know, behind you, working with the bad guy that, you know, behind your back
guy.
Here,
yeah,
a real bad dude, and you're just like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, it it just pissed him off, and I don't blame him. I'd be upset about it. So I mean, but I'm glad that they didn't focus on that and drag that out over like 3 or 4 episodes. You know, he figured it out. He confronted him. He got off what he wanted to say off his chest.
I thought it was perfect.
The dude, you know, he worked. He kind of proved his point to Ollie that he really was trying to help. And then they decided, okay, from now on, you're going to be our inside guy to Dark. You know, and that's good. I'm glad for that. I don't know.
I love how it ended. I love how it ended. I mean, you again, you're back on track. Now Ollie's running for mayor. Him and Lance have squashed this little beef where Lance is not putting himself on this pedestal about how bad the Arrow is and how good Lance is to do things right. And they're finally starting to see eye to eye. They're going to work together now and, move forward to save this city, which I would not be living in. Gotham City, Sterling City, I ain't living there. If I was a citizen, I'd be like, yo, this place is rough, bro. I got to move. I'm leaving. I don't know. I'm getting out of here. This ain't Kansas anymore. But anyway, they hooking up the city, and I like how that's going. And then we end with, Sara disappearing. Is anybody, Nate, or is anybody surprised that a back from the dead, soulless, formal League of Assassins member managed to escape for some chains in a basement? No. Nobody's didn't see that one coming.
Although it did look like she actually took the chains and actually broke them into every single link possible. I mean, when I was looking at the ground, there's just a bunch of links laying around there. I'm like, what did she do? She just explode? I mean, it looked kind of weird, like not just, it looked like she just went like, bah, like exploded like, Superman ripping chains all to pieces. And I'm like, I don't think that's what happened.
No.
I wasn't surprised about that. And I really didn't even care so much about that. What I got excited about, and probably the best part of this whole thing, was the preview for next week. The preview got me so excited, I halfway forgot what this episode was about. And that's why I had to kind of recap what this whole thing was about. We got Constantine showing up in next week's episode. Mm-hmm. The guy who's playing Constantine is the same guy who played on the series that came on NBC. I watched the series. I liked the series. I liked it a lot. I don't know why. I thought it was a lot better than shows that are still on TV nowadays.
When did it air? When did it air originally, Nate?
It was last year. It came on last year for...
Oh, really?
It started at the beginning of fall and ran... I actually think it ran past till about February, maybe.
Okay.
And it ran it was like a 10 or a 12 episode season. And then they said, they didn't pick it up again, but they said they hadn't canceled it, but they just left it in limbo for a while, and then they decided to cancel it.
All right.
I thought it was great. I liked it. I liked it a lot. The guy who plays Constantine is spot on. If you, in your mind, when you read Constantine as a comic, this guy embodies Constantine as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does an amazing job. I think the show probably would have done better on a different network. I mean, NBC throws so much crap on their network, they don't know what's good. They're doing Heroes again, and it's just as bad as the first time.
Maybe this will help revitalize that, because I didn't even know about Constantine. There's probably a lot of people who would have enjoyed it, but now that you're integrating it into the Arrow and the Flash and all the stuff they got going on right now, where DC's kind of building up this little TV universe, if he comes in and crushes it like you say that he can, and he's a hit, then they'll probably continue to utilize him. And I think that's why they grabbed this guy, because I was like, there's potential there. We just didn't get it in front of the right market, so let's put him in front of the right market and see what we can do with this character.
Right, because, I mean, they never set it up to succeed. They started it on Friday night. If anyone knows anything about television, Friday night's the death slot. Anything that goes on Friday is getting the least amount of views because no one's home on Friday. I mean, of all shows, all your big shows come on Sunday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday is death slots. You don't put any shows on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
So them setting it up to fail. I remember reading an article saying that the guy that plays Oliver wanted to get this guy on the show. He made it happen. He brought him in. I absolutely love that. I love DC taking care of their own. Bringing in, cool. You got a DC show, bringing your characters in there. The dude's great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ecstatic about it. I hope somehow it either continues with him having like several episodes in this show that might lead to something else, him appearing in other stuff. Because the dude is absolutely fantastic.
Well,
I wouldn't even mind them rebooting the show on CW because, you know, CW, they don't have the high standards of viewership that they require to stay on their show, whereas NBC and all these other stuff do. Yeah. So I would love to see it revitalized on the CW.
They're doing a nice job of bringing them in. I mean, you got Damien Dark, who's already getting into like this magical type realm.
Right.
And then now you've got Sara coming back who doesn't have a soul. And so while you don't really care about Sara, now with the premise that they got set up to bring Constantine in, it's kind of like, ooh, I'm glad they did that because now that they brought Sara back from the dead, now I get to bring Constantine back from a dead show and put him on here.
Yeah.
And so that's how they're bringing him in, and it's going to fit nicely. And now the Sara storyline you got that you didn't care about is going to be very interesting in the next episode because that's why they bring Constantine on. So I'm excited. I think next episode is going to be great. And they keep raising the bar. You know, we're going in a different direction now than we were with just kicking and punching. Now we're getting to the supernatural a little bit. I think that's really cool. That's all we really got for this video. Coming up on 15 minutes. Guys, man, like, comment, whatever. I know we got people out here watching these videos. You've probably seen more than one. And show us some love and let us get a sub up in here. I know y'all like this content. Follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Campfire Rich. You can follow Nate at Campfire Nate. Man, I'm going to have a subscribe button on here down in the comments. We're going to have links to our Twitter and stuff like that. So let us know what you think, man. Get in the conversation. Are you excited about Constantine? Because I know I am. Until next time, people, we out.
See ya.